slave who went into Arkansas. He stacked his money up and he became a railroad owner. He owned a railroad system, and the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas ended up buying his railroad system, and that system is still owned by Pine Bluff right now. The Patterson Car Company was a car company founded by former slaves, African-American men, and the Patterson Car Company was the first African-American car manufacturer in the country, I think the only manufacturer in the country. And what's interesting about the Patterson Car Company, it was in Ohio. Their cars were considered higher quality than the Model T cars that Henry Ford had.
The DeRay brothers, Ford and them stole it. That's why all over the world, Ford never gets credit for inventing a car. He gets credit for mass production.
The cars began coming off the assembly line at the rate of one every 40 seconds.
Until that, they take one car and put it together. One car and put it together. But where did he get that from? George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver was never around black folks till he went to Tuskegee. His mother and father died or was killed. A white family adopted him from Iowa. You know, black folks in Iowa, football players. So he went to grade school, high school, and they didn't have no secondary school. They didn't have enough people. And so now George Washington Carver leaves after he get all this education come out there. He goes to Tuskegee. Henry Ford came down to visit, like he always see his friend. They said, Mr. Ford, I got something here. Study plants. And see, if you take this back and give it to your engineers, they can build more than one car at a time. He took it back. Mass production all over the world is called the plant, right?
Everybody made joke of him because they said, well, you know, what, the plants are talking to him? You know, is this how we get these properties of these plants? And George Washington Carver, in his quiet, dignified way, said, well, who taught me? I'm not saying that they talk to me like they got a tongue, but I can look at a plant and see what it can do for the human family.
The military came to George Washington Carver, and they said, we need you to do something for us. Can you invent something that out of it we can get paint, glue, ink, and plastic? Yeah, I can handle that. They tell me how smart black folk are. I can handle that. So he came back, called sardine. Now you want to hear something funny? The number one cancer group in America is vegetarians. Because you wasn't supposed to eat soy. When he got to Tuskegee, they thought he was gay. No association with women, high-pitched voice, they thought he was gay.
The finest juice we've been able to make of peanuts is in the treatment of the after effects of infantile paralysis.
And he'd rather for you to believe he was gay than tell you that them white folks that adopted him castrated him so he couldn't have sex with their daughter. Like, who wanted him? Huh?
Man,
Wally Jones was a
honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bashem, Wahara Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, who teach well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. GMS Arkansas. That video I just showed you, it was that Henry Ford didn't create the first vehicle. It was actually George Washington. So you seen in the beginning the brother who created that particular, the rail system that come through Pine Bluff. So the scriptures tell us that, let me show you. Former of all things. Why is it coming up? Let me see, is that Jeremiah? Is that 51, I think? Is that Jeremiah 51 and Jeremiah 51 and 19? The portion of Jacob is not like them. Okay. For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh, the Lord of hosts is his name. Okay, so it says that we are the former of all things. Let me look up the word. The former goes into form or fashion or frame, the human activity, divine activity, the creation, the original creation, the individual at conception, the frame, preordained, plan, figuratively, the divine purpose of a situation. So Israel basically talks about the creation and the creator. It says of all things, okay? So the whole, everything in the totality. So when you see these creations that have been made in this world, anything that creations that have helped people advance in this world, they have all been created by Israelites. Because the scriptures say here that we are the former of all things. And we went into the word former and all things to show you. It's talking about anything created, so to speak. But like the curses that fell up on Jake, in Deuteronomy 28, when you go to like verse 40, I think it says, for the one of all things, we have to go to them for the one of all things. Let me look, it's right in here somewhere. It says, a stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come very low. And that stranger, we can equate that to being Esau. He got above us and the other nations. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that's what you see going on right now. Okay? And it goes down, and it says, verse 48, therefore shall thou serve thine enemy, right? And that's what you kind of see George Washington Carver, the Most High put him in a position where he created being the former, but he turned around. Esau came to him, and he had to basically, through the spirit, he had to tell Esau how to basically make his ideal work and how to go about it. Okay, therefore, that was him serving his enemy. Okay, it says, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, man. Okay, so we're lacking in that, being in that position for all these inventions that we created, that it would prosper for our people. This is a captivity that we're in, and all the inventions and ideas that we have had to give to our slave masters to make their society become rich and great. Everywhere Israel has been, that particular place has been rich and great. Just like when we fled 70 AD and we went into the interiors of Africa and lived there 1,500 years. That's why people think Africa is so great. It's not the Africans, the Hamitic people there that made it great. It's the Israelites sojourning into that land, which made that land great, made that whole west coast of Africa what it is today. It was the Israelites, okay? And being there so long, that's why a lot of our people think that's where we're from. We're not. We're from Israel. We sojourned into Africa, and the Lord even spoke of it. He spoke of it, what Daniel said in the 9th chapter, and he spoke of it in the 24th chapter of Matthew's. Abomination of desolation, man, because we knew the Romans would ransack us, and then we would have to leave and go into Africa. That's how we got to Africa, fleeing out of Israel. But we made it great wherever Israelites are. They made it great. That's why Esau came and brought us over here to America in the Renaissance period as slaves. And Jake has still outdid his slave master with thinking and productivity and in the creation of instruments that it'll be used to help the people, be a civilization, everything, But it's these curses that we're under. We're lacking that ability to make our people prosper through our ideas and our inventions because we're in subjection under Esau. We only can make him more richer. That's why we have to desire the day of the Lord to come so we can have our righteous rule back in our rightful place, in the universe, man. So with that, man, I hope this lesson was just edifying to the election of Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakha, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, who teach well. And salutations to the hopeful elect, man. And this is a copyright disclaimer. Okay, Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. I do not own the rights to all this video. I only use it for education purposes only. And I hope that the people who have at the site of African and Black history, they use it as well as education, just as I am as well. So I hope this is edifying to the election of Israel. Shalom.